Maurice,
Yes, fellow, yes, fellow Toastmasters. I don't have a real invitation, but just stay motivated, focus on your goals, develop a goal if you don't have one, and just do baby steps if you have to. You don't have to do it all in one day. Now for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Back to you, Madam Toastmaster.
all right, thank you very much for the invocation and pledge. And it seemed pretty formal to me, and it's so true. We have to take baby steps sometimes, but as long as we set a goal and stick to it. My goal was to do a speech for the next 4 consecutive weeks, and I missed last week. So I do have a speech that I put together, and I put the, what do you call it? I put my evaluation in the chat. Can I please have someone, Carrie, would you be interested in being my evaluator for my speech? Please. Carrie. Yeah. Oh.
Okay. I don't have it, but I'll do the evaluation and I'll fill out the form later.
No, I'll send it again. If you'll just give me one. I know I put it in the chat, but I don't know if you saw it. So
I'm using the cell phone, so chat box is not very
okay
to me. So again, so I'll do the evaluate based on my I think.
Well, the evaluation is
okay?
regarding leadership style. Oh, I sent the checklist. I sent the wrong one that time. The evaluation is about leadership style.
For the general, I have the copy for the general evaluation.
All right.
Means under for all purpose. So I'll do that for now, and then I'll fill out the one you sent me, and I'll email it back to you. I think that's easy for me for now.
Yeah, sure. Thank you so much. Well, I will relinquish the the lectern over to our prepared speech for the night, and that will be me. And for the timer, it's going to be a 5 to 7 minute speech about leadership, or I'm sorry, leadership styles. Yes, 5 to 7 minutes, and it is about leadership styles. All right, I will begin. Ladies, gentlemen, Toastmasters, and friends, tonight I will be speaking to you about ways to use persuasion to boost conversation. In this case, to boost your speaking. Persuasion. Let's think about that for a minute. When I think of persuading someone, sometimes my mind goes a little to the left, and I think about manipulation, run amok, to lead someone down your path, whether it be right or wrong. Getting over on someone, you know, as they say, pulling the wool over your eyes. Those are some of the things that could come to mind when you think about persuasion. But let me help you change the way you think of persuasion. Persuasion is a synonym for the word influence. We all should be practicing, or we should all have an influential style. When we've made the decision to become leaders, a leader has to, number one, be able to influence. So let's see 6 ways that we can use influence, AKA persuasion, to boost your next conversation or speech. Number 1, reciprocity. Reciprocity is defined as give a little something to get a little something. What do you mean by that? It means that humans are wired to return favors and pay back debts, to treat others as they have been treated. So what does reciprocity have to do with a conversation or a speech? Let's think about that for a minute. Well, one way is start your speech by giving a little. Start your speech maybe with a question and ask the audience to give you real feedback, not just a nod of the head, but sometimes you can ask them to raise a hand or maybe even have an audience member speak up. That gives them an opportunity to be a part of your speech. You give a little and you get a little. Number 2, commitment. Research has said that humans have a deep need to be seen as consistent. Commitment equals consistency. Yeah. Once we've publicly decided to do something for someone else, you're more likely to go through with that commitment. And believe it or not, commitment sometimes aligns with self-image. Let me give you that as an example. I feel better about myself because you felt that I was important enough to commit to me. What does that have to do with public speaking or even a conversation? Example, tonight, I will give you 6 steps to be a more influential, persuasive leader. I just made a commitment to my audience, and now my audience feels more engaged. They feel as if the opportunity is there. They feel better about themselves because I have just promised that I'm going to help them be better in their public speaking or in their leadership roles. Number 3, social proof. There's nothing like feeling validated based on what others are doing. What does that mean? I'll give you an example. If everyone gets on the elevator and walks to the back, chances are the next person that gets on the elevator will do what? Walk to the back. If you're having a conversation and you notice the person that you're speaking directly to sort of looks away or something catches their attention, it's only natural for you to look to see what caught that person's attention. What does that have to do with public speaking? I'll tell you what. You need to set the atmosphere. If you want your audience to be happy, then you should be the first to wear a smile. If you want your audience to behave as if this is a pep rally where everyone is cheering and happy and exciting, then you should be the main cheerleader. That's it. Basically, just set the atmosphere. Whatever you want your audience to do, you should do first. Number 4, authority. You will obey me. What? That seems a little far-fetched. But have you ever wondered why we have a tendency to obey authority figures? Sometimes it's just when a person's name begins with doctor. Don't you kind of feel as if that person is an expert in some subject matter? What if they're wearing a uniform, a lab coat, or a security guard, or a police officer, or maybe even a fireman? Don't you sometimes feel that that person is in authority? You almost feel as if you want to obey whatever they say. What does that have to do with public speaking? Dress the part. If you want to be seen a certain way to your audience, then you should look a certain way to your audience. Dress the part. Number 5, liking. The more you like someone, the more you'll be persuaded by them. Think about it. Aren't we sometimes persuaded by our friends, people that we like, people that we're already in a relationship with? Don't we sometimes value their opinion? Well, how do you get your audience to like you the moment you hit the stage? I mean, before you ever open your mouth, how do you captivate your audience, get them to like you, and get them to be persuaded about what it is you're about to say? I thought you'd never ask. I'll tell you the secret. Having a powerful introduction. The next time you're asked to be a keynote speaker, don't you dare touch the stage until someone has given you a powerful, intriguing punch of an introduction. It's sort of like searing a steak. You have to make sure that pan is very hot before you put the meat on it. Last, scarcity. When you believe something is in short supply, you want more of it. You've seen those ads, book now, today only, get it before it's gone. Start your speech with a story. Let it be a cliffhanger. You will have your audience sitting on the end of their seats, waiting to hear what you have to say and the moral or the end of that story. In conclusion, these principles of influence have been used for decades by businesses and marketers to get you, the consumer, to part with your hard-earned money. So pay close attention to them. Learn what they are about and learn how you can apply them the next time you are asked to give a persuasive or influential speech. Back to you, Toastmaster. And that's me. That's it for my speech. That speech was about about leadership styles. And I chose to do one about a leadership style that I like the most, which is influencer or using persuasion during your speech. Okay, I don't think we have any more prepared speeches, so we will pass the lectern over to our table topics master, where our theme will sort of be about back to school. And unless you guys just want to give me some further accolades, I will pass this on to you, our table topics master. Thank you.
Thank you, Olivia, and thank you for speaking this evening. That was very good. I enjoyed it. And we will start now with our table topics. I am your table topics master, and the theme for this meeting is back to school. So I have a few questions relating to school and also a few other random questions thrown in there. So I will start by asking the first question and then see if we have any volunteers. And if no one volunteers, I will call on someone. I think we lost Donovan. Maybe he'll come back in. So the first question is, who was your favorite teacher in school, whether you're currently going or just from your past? Who was your favorite teacher of all time and why? Do we have, I see Kyler has his hand raised. Go ahead, Kyler.
All right, I'm gonna set the timer for myself. Greetings, fellow Toastmasters and honored guests. My favorite teacher was actually a college professor. His name is Dr. Marshall, Doug Marshall. I think he's still at South Alabama. He taught sociology, and the courses that I was introduced to him from were, I think I started taking sociological psychology, and then I eventually took his sociology of religion, and then sociology of world religion. And it was interesting to me because I grew up, pretty Southern fundamentalist evangelical, and, meeting somebody who knows so much about so many different things from so many different, perspectives, and like how to kind of break down the different fundamentals of religion and how they relate to society and how they affect us as people. And plus just learning from someone who just had no limit to his interest. Anything he was interested in, he was there to share it. He had skin in the game. He's a professor. He was writing about this stuff. He was very passionate about it. And I guess that passion and that kind of, desire to learn everything about everything really rubbed off on me. And, I still try to, kind of imitate that to some extent today because it inspired me so much. Back to you.
Thank you, Kyler. And I think most of us probably have a favorite teacher or maybe multiple favorite teachers. I certainly do. I can still, Miss Marsh was my favorite teacher in the 10th grade. I took speech with her, and it was really a life-changing course. It helped me even in Toastmasters today. I can still picture her voice or hear her voice and just her mannerisms. So that's amazing. So my next question is, what is your favorite and or least favorite school subject? Do we have a volunteer? And we have Cheyenne. Go ahead, Cheyenne.
Waiting for the timer to start real quick. Hello, everyone. I've been asked if I had a least favorite subject in school. This is not a difficult question for me to answer. I will start off by letting everyone know I am a creative soul. I like reading, I like history, I like art. Therefore, on the flip side of that, that means I am not good at math. I am not good at science. More of the comprehensive science I get, but when it comes to formulas, calculations, things like that, just right over my head. And the reason is that with art, with history, well, history is pretty standard, or is pretty similar and pretty repetitive or like set in stone. But with art, you know, it's up for interpretation. If you mess up an art project, it's a bird now. It was supposed to be a cloud, but it can be a bird. But with math, it is what it is, and you just do it without questioning. And for me, I have to know why. If you tell me this is a formula, this will get you this answer, my brain has to know why. But with math, that's just how you do it. So my brain does not retain that information. So I really struggled in math, and I was very strong in reading. I love history, and I love art. So with that, my least favorite subject is math. Thank you.
Thank you, Cheyenne. It's funny, it takes all kinds of people, to be in the world, to be a society. And so I'm the exact opposite. I'm a civil engineer, and in school, math was my strongest subject, and math and science. As far as creativity, I remember like in art class, I would literally draw stick figures. I had no concept of, it's just magic to me, people that can draw like a portrait, how they do it. So, but it takes all of us to make a successful world. So thank you. And moving on, my next question is a little different. It's related to school. When we start back in school, our routines can change, but one of the very important things we've learned in today's society or in health subjects today, is sleep. Sleep is very important. So regarding sleep hygiene, when you're starting back in school, what is your typical bedtime, and what time do you get up, and how do you juggle your sleep? Do we have any volunteers?
I'll take it. Oh, go ahead, Carrie. Go ahead.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. The sleep schedule and the school. During the Christmas break, summer break, especially summer break, is very long. And my sleep schedule messed up when I was a kid. No, actually, no. In Japan, because we have to get up in the early morning and then go to the community park or big parking lot or schoolyard, and we meet and do exercise in the elementary school kids at 6:30. I remember that. So school still control the children. I have to get up early. Actually, that's earlier than the school day. In the 6:30, I believe 6:30, and 20 minutes exercise. Then my community, the residential area, decide to do something more, 10 more minutes exercise. When I forgot which grade, but they started, and not all some of the residential area, but my residential area added the 10 more minutes exercise. And then somehow we are told that to run back to the house. So all the kids running back to the house. And I believe I was number one because who else went back to my house? And so I was number one to back to my house. And then my mom gave me a lot of prize, and she gave me a good girl. And that was it. So sleep schedule didn't really mess up. Was okay. Sleep schedule was okay when I was a kid. And then one more thing I like to share this. I'm tutoring the children Japanese language, and then their attitude during the Christmas break or summer break or spring break, or some sort of long break time. Their attitude, I see their attitude. Do you understand? So you got it. I don't know that attitude. But once school starts, they have to go to bed early, 10, 9, 8:30, and they get up in the morning early, 5 or 6 something. So their schedule, their lifestyle, their life schedule is go back to regular, normal. It's more regular. So their attitudes totally change. And so I hope they go to school through a year. That's how I feel. Thank you so much. Back to those table topic master.
Thank you, Carrie. And yes, sleep hygiene is definitely something to think about. And that was interesting doing the exercise, especially in Japan. That's something I think America could use more of, although I don't know that that sort of discipline exists as far as in that context. But moving on, this will be a good question for someone that's actively in school. You know, the pandemic has really changed schooling quite a bit, or at least the tools that we use to get an education. And this year is especially going to be interesting, I guess. But the question is, what are you most excited about for this upcoming school year? So I thought maybe Donovan may have an idea since you're in school, I think.
I'll take it, David.
Thank you.
So the question that I've received was, can you repeat the question, please?
Sure. So the question is, what are you most excited about for this upcoming school year?
Okay. So the question I've gotten was, what am I most excited about this coming school year? Well, as of everyone knows that I'm in college, and being in college is different than being in high school. So in that case, the truth is nothing's really excited right now because we're still in a pandemic. We're still isolated. We still have a lot of differences that people have, and that's causing people to get very tense around people. In that case, I've been questioning whether if I want to be back on campus because of the contagiousness of the Delta variant and the uncertainty of what's going to happen. The one thing that I am doing this year is an internship at Spring Hill College for the athletic department. And my job is basically to go to soccer games or volleyball games to be able to check in people who have downloaded tickets to get into the field on the court. By saying that, I would think the most thing that I want to just conclude is that I'm not looking forward to be on campus, but I am just of knowing what's going on, and that's pretty much it I have in store for this question. Thank you. Back to the Mr. Table Topics Master.
Thank you, Donovan. Yeah, the pandemic definitely has things changed up a bit, but that was interesting and informative answer. And maybe we could do one more. I see Maurice typed in the chat. Do you all remember when Rodney Dangerfield went back to school? And I have not thought about that movie in years. I don't know if everybody's seen it, but Rodney Dangerfield, the comedian, was actually a very good actor as well. And he was in a movie called Back to School, which was absolutely hilarious. But I remember at the same time, it was a meaningful, it had meaning underneath it. It really, it was a great movie. So I'll ask Maurice, I presume you've seen the movie, and just if you want to quickly give us your thoughts on the meaning behind Back to School.
Yes, what I remember of it, well, the thing that rings out to me the most was when he was in literature class and the literature teacher, she was going over a romantic poem, and he kind of fell into a daydream, into a trance while she was reciting that poem. And all these little actions happened during this romantic poem. And then we hit the climax of the poem. And I guess he was dreaming about the poem, and he was in a romantic setting of the poem. And she hit the climax of the poem where I guess the lady says, yes, yes, or the man says, yes, yes. And that's when Rodney woke up, yes, yes, in the middle of the class. And all the classmates were looking at him. That's when he woke up. And then there's some other little scenes, but well, Sam Kinison was one of the teachers, and they got into a yelling contest, and instead of when the Rodney Dangerfield character yelled back, instead of Sam Kinison being distraught, he felt a charge out of it. And you say, "Oh, okay," I like that, So that's some of the memories I have of watching Back to School. Back to you, Topics Master.
Thank you, Maurice. And yeah, I remember those scenes as well. I'll have to go back and watch that again now. It's been many years since I've seen it, but it was a meaningful movie. It was hilarious, and at the same time, it really brought up some really good points. But I think we're at 7:28, and so we need to move on. I think everybody pretty much has had a chance to participate. Olivia spoke tonight, so she's participated, so she's good. So we'll move on, and so I will thank everyone for participating and turn the lectern back to our Toastmaster, Olivia.
Thank you very much, David, for your table topics portion. I like talking about back to school. For me, the most intriguing thing about back to school is the fall season, the changing of the leaves. I love it, even though we don't get to see much of that in the South. I love when it starts to cool off, those crisp mornings, when the weather is just cool enough to put on a light jacket if you want to, but you don't necessarily have to. And when the bugs start dying, I love it. Well, let's say when they start hibernating. Sorry, I didn't mean to be ugly. I love it when I can just walk outside and I have to swat at flies and mosquitoes and all that other good stuff. So that's my back to school memory, is when the weather changes and it's nice outside. Okay, we are going to go into our evaluation portion of the meeting, and I would like to call on our general evaluator to come up to the lectern, please. Who is our general evaluator? Donovan, thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Toastmaster. My I'm going to go ahead and report on the meeting went well overall. We had a great tabletop relative, also helped us to be engaged, which I evaluated. And I also want to give that an accolade to David, as it was a very great time. So overall, the meeting went well. We had a 5-minute recess. We started at 6:46, but overall, the meeting went well. And back to you, Olivia. I have nothing else to report on.
Okay, well, actually, now you can go ahead and call up the other roles. So your timer, grammarian, and all those, you can call them up now. And also, Carrie is going to do my formal evaluation for my speech.
Sorry about that. I just forgot about that.
Okay, you're doing good. Doing good.
The first person I'd like to go ahead and call up to the lectern will be the timer. Over the time, Kato, would you please give us the timer's report?
Hey, Val, I wouldn't mind going next, but I think the speech evaluator comes after you do. That way I can time the speech evaluator.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
So I'm going to go ahead and relinquish the lectern from Kato to Kiri for the false evaluator for Olivia's speech.
Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. I'm going to evaluate Olivia's speech, leadership style, which is very interesting to me because I'm also focused on the leadership style, sometimes different between American style and Japanese style. So very curious to listen to. Okay, first, you excellent at. I'd like to mention two. First, your confidence level. You were very confident speaking and confident in your content, what you're going to speak about. You know what you're talking about. And your confidence level makes me feel confident too. Second, I move, rather than say eye contact, I would prefer to say I move because you have a really big, outstanding, beautiful eyes, which I don't have. So when you move a little bit, it's a big animated on the screen, especially this online meeting screen. This I have a very small one because I'm using the cell phone. I would say only 3x4-inch screen. And your eye movement give me big animate in there. It's more impact on your speech. I really like it. It's very, very good. You're excellent at these 2 points. I like to really mention. Next, you may want to work on and to challenge yourself. I like to rephrase these 2 sentences. I'll make 2 suggestions. First suggestion, it's good to put an online outline note or TD note by your camera. You may use your laptop or phone or something else, but you make a note and put this attached to by it. And that's so that you don't need to break the eye contact with the audience. You have a great speech confidence level, but when you break the eye contact with the audience, it's a little break the also connection, relationship. That's how I feel. Second suggestion, I like your background. Your white wall and a greenish, bluish globe, and I don't see green plant today, but I sometimes see the green plant. But unfortunately, they don't look parallel to you. So I like to see the little parallel because I'm sort of perfectionist. So it's a little cricket from my viewpoint. And so you may want to do the parallel to your camera and to yourself.
Move my camera around.
That's the second suggestion.
Okay, yeah, I see what I have to do. Oh, that made it even worse. Oh, Jesus.
It's a minor,
Okay, it's even more
very
complicated.
minor.
Yes,
It's
I'll
a
fix it.
suggestion.
Thank you.
Right. I like your background anyway. And then next, I like to select a couple point. Let's see. I like to start with clarity. Yes, I give you 5. It's very clear voice and a loud, easy understand. It was very easily understood. Next, vocal variation. Definitely, yes. I like to give you 4. The -1, the reason is I like your speed and volume. It may be good to give the somewhat tone. Sometimes high pitch, sometimes low voice. This will give you more variation, I think.
Yep. Mhm.
And eye contact, as I earlier, I said it's great eye contact. And if you see the TD note, well, look down, it's a little break moment and a break to the audience. So you may want to figure out what to do.
Gotcha.
And gesture, yes, even gesture small, again, my screen 3x4 cell phone screen, use your icon gestures and give you more movement. So I never get bored when I listen to. And then let's see, comfort level. Your comfort level, definitely yes. You feel so comfortable to talk about what you want to talk, what you're talking about, comfortable, and the audience feel comfortable too. That's all I like to share tonight. And then thank you so much. Back to General Evaluator Donovan. Thank you.
Thank you, Carrie. That was interesting and fascinating that you gave Olivia the accolades of a great speech tonight. Moving on, I'm going to go ahead and relinquish the lectern to Kylo, who is the time honor for tonight.
Greetings, fellow Toastmasters. I was selected to be the timer this evening, so I'm here to give you my timer's report. So starting off the meeting with her speech, Olivia had 8 minutes and 20 seconds. And then in the table topics portion of the meeting, I had 1 minute and 35 seconds. Cheyenne had 1 minute and 47 seconds. Carrie had 2 minutes and 16 seconds. Donovan had 2 minutes and 24 seconds. Maurice had 1 minute and 31 seconds. And then moving to the evaluation portion, Carrie had 3 minutes and 56 seconds. Thank you, and back to you, evaluation.
Thank you, Kylo, for your report. The next person I'm going to go ahead and relinquish the lectern is Cheyenne, who is the out counsel and the grammarian as well.
Hello, everyone. I had 2 roles this evening. I will give you a report of those. The first one I'll do is the grammarian. We only had 1 misuse this evening, and correct me if I am wrong. It was during your speech, Olivia. You said at one point, let me give you that of an example. And when I said it again, I'm like, that kind of sounds right, but let me give you that of an example. Yeah, so maybe just give you an example, but I know there are places where you can put that, you can say that. Let me give you, I could have, it just
Yeah, I
sounds,
think I just made a mistake there.
yeah, but then it does kind of, there are certain sentences where you speak that way. I can't remember if that's correct or not, but that is the only one I caught. And then the word of the day, we had Olivia and Donovan used it twice. And here is the, I can't do it, here's the word of the day star, yay. So it's a trophy. The word of the day, accolade. So now for my all counter report. Olivia, during your speech, I only heard one time, so great job. Kyler, you already know, you know. Quite a few times. You had some uhs, like, and then you had a you know, about 3 times, so you compounded there, so.
I'm creative.
But you did less than usual, so great job. I myself said like and you know as well. Carrie, I heard 1 during your evaluation, and that's all. So thank you guys.
Thank you, Cheyenne. I'm gonna go ahead and say that the meeting went well. Just want to touch on a couple things I haven't said. That everything went well, and I enjoyed tonight's meeting. I'm gonna just go ahead. Do we have an education overview tonight?
No, I actually was going to just reiterate for our education overview the importance of having an introduction to your next speech. When I did the advanced Toastmasters class, the group that Crystal is in, every speech began with a introduction. And it was intriguing. You get to know a little bit about the person that's getting ready to speak. You gather that background information. It kind of puts an image in your mind of the person, and then it just makes you more, I guess, inquisitive about what the person is getting ready to say. So I just would like to say to everyone, go ahead and get your introduction written down. Of course, you can change it for every time you get ready to speak, but go ahead and get your introduction, have what it is you will want the person that's going to introduce you to say. How do you want to captivate your audience before you ever get on the stage? So take advantage of that opportunity and go ahead and write that introduction now. I have a couple of them that I've written for myself, and it just depends on the setting or what I'm getting ready to talk about as to which one that I will use. But that's just an education overview. It is truly beneficial to have your speech introduced by someone before you come up to the mic. So take that as an education overview. Back to you, Donovan. I think you may be done, huh?
Yes.
Thank you, Olivia, for the abbreviated education overview. I'm going to go ahead and relinquish the lectern back to the Toastmaster for the evening, which will be Olivia.
Okay, thank you, Donovan. I appreciate your general evaluation. I appreciate everyone tonight. Every time I saw Kyler with those Skittles, I was like, I think he's over there chewing those Skittles. That's why he couldn't give us timers report, because he had to swallow the Skittles that he was eating. I didn't really care for Skittles, but you sure made them taste good. You made them look like they really taste good. And green and yellow are my least favorites. So, oh no.
I did not
Yeah.
eat the green ones. I refuse to eat the green ones.
Yeah. Yeah, it looked like you were over there enjoying our timer colors tonight. Yeah. So, and that's good. I mean, it's just the little small things like that, guys, that in the midst of all that we're going through, all that we've been through, my daughter had to sing this morning at a double funeral, the husband and the wife. They had their funeral together this morning. Last Friday, she had to sing at a funeral of a 45-year-old. Him and his wife both had COVID. She recovered, he did not. So it's just and with so much going on, I tell you, any way I can find any kind of humor, I do. And it was just so funny to see Carter over there chewing our little timer. I was like, he's over there eating our Skittles. Yeah, so it's just the little small things. And that's just my advice to you, to take time to find something to smile about, something to be happy about, some kind of way to just lift your own spirits, lift your own mood, because there are going to be times when it won't be someone there to give you that pat on the shoulder or give you that attaboy or give you those words of encouragement. We got to figure out how to encourage ourselves. So keep a smile always helps. Even when you don't feel well, if you wear a smile, when you have that smile on your face, it just changes the insides. I promise it does. Your whole everything starts to smile no matter what's going on. So that's my few little words of encouragement for tonight from your president, Olivia. Does anybody else have anything before we wrap up?
Yes, one little thing. The Toastmasters International Convention virtual is coming up. It's going to be held from August 23rd to the 28th. And the cost for the all access pass is $25 US. And then you can see limited sessions for free with the limited access pass. Don't delay, register today.
And how do you, is that on the Toastmasters
It's-
International website?
Well, yes, it's on an email too. It's emailed
Yeah, I thought so. Okay.
this week.
Okay.
I was just,
Okay.
I'll just add briefly, it's regarding your educational overview. If we start making better use of Easy Speak, when you sign up for a speech, there's a little place where you can write your introduction so that the evaluator can then get it off of Easy Speak and have it. It's just a quick way of doing it.
That makes sense. Okay, I will try to definitely utilize that for next week because I do want to give another speech next week, and I encourage someone else to give another speech too. So I'm determined, David. You and Maurice have really just got me super encouraged to get finished with my pathway so I can start on my next one. So I'm encouraged to get this one done. All right, anything else, anyone? Carrie, don't forget to pay the lady.
It's something more happy. Let me say something happy. I really appreciate Olivia for asking me to be an evaluator and encourage me to do that because I'm tired, physically so tired today because of all the errands, go to the bank, the post office, and pick up something, and then go to the store, something. And then even I was tired. I didn't feel really achieved because all the errands, the tedious, boring stuff. But I was really tired, and then you asked me to do it, and then now I did it, and I feel really achieved better. So I appreciate it. By asking me, almost kind of a little bit pushed me. I sometimes need it. So thank you so much.
Yeah, we always need some kind of boost every now and then. So but thank you for accepting the role, Carrie, because I was like, well, let's see, Carrie, I'll ask her to do it. She can do it. Sorry for not having it already covered before the meeting started, like I should have. The time is now 7:47, guys. If all minds are clear, we can get out of here. Anybody else has anything? All righty. Have a good night.
Bye.
See you all next Monday, and happy birthday again to all our August celebrators.
Thank you.
Yes,
Thank
thank
you. Have a good week,
Bye.
everyone.
All right.
Bye.
Have a nice night.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.